Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut here with Mike Kelly, and we're Real Estate Jerky, and
And
we are the daily version. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, thanks for listening to it on the podcast.
if you're not listening to it on the podcast, thanks for not listening to it on the podcast and listening to it live.
Yeah.
So what's going on, fingers?
I'm sorry, it's a little slow today. Everything's not working as fast.
You
I'm
got-
working fast, but
you-
it's everything else is not.
Oh, my favorite one. You looks like you have a Jolts survey.
I know you like that drink, didn't
I
you?
do. I did.
I don't even think it's around anymore, right?
I think they had to outlaw it because it was giving people heart attacks.
Oh, it's like 3 times the amount of caffeine and sugar or something.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I don't know. I mean, Mountain Dew was bad enough in college for me.
I kind of think I need to go back to eating like I did when I was a kid because I was so light. I didn't weigh nothing. So it was all just sugar and carbs. So maybe that's what I'll do.
Well, maybe it was the fact that you probably didn't eat as much.
Oh, no, I ate like a pig. I just had fast metabolism.
Yeah, well, okay. We'll see what happens. All right. So yesterday, the Jolts report came out, which is job opening and labor turnover survey. But we had so much going on, I just didn't have enough time to talk about it.
Yep.
And it actually came in a little bit lower than they expected.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So they're expecting 9.5 million, and when it came in at 8.8 million, which is a huge. And this is the biggest drop in the 2.5 years.
That's bad and good.
Well,
it's bad for the people that are dropping.
Yes,
but it's good for the correction of the economy.
Well, this is what Fed is wanting, right?
Yep.
They want to see this in order for it to work for them, to show that what they're doing is working, and they won't stop until they see this kind of stuff, and that's the problem.
Pending home sales. No.
Stop reading ahead. It's not what you're supposed to do. All right. So because I want to go over, I didn't have this on my stuff, but ADP report showed that there were 177,000 jobs created, which was weaker than the 200,000 expected. So those are 2 reports in a row that are showing less. And July report was revised a little bit higher by 47,000 to 324,000 from 324 to 377,000. I can't talk today. What's new, right?
Yep.
Most of the jobs came from the service sector, which added 154,000 jobs. So
those are kind of seasonal, though, don't you think?
No, service, but finally, the biggest thing, we talked about this yesterday also, leisure and hospitality added 30,000 jobs. That's the ones that you're like seasonal kind of thing, right? Cooling off with this report also was the same as the other report we talked about yesterday, which was education, health services, and that kind of stuff. And so it's hitting all sectors now.
Gotcha.
One of the things I also talked about is there's quiet cutting. Don't tell him to lead you off. Yeah. Large companies like Adidas, Adobe, IBM, Salesforce are quiet quitting with their employees. This means resigning workers.
Quitting.
Yeah, with lower pay and lower titles so they can trim costs. So they're just going, we don't have your job anymore. See you later.
Yeah. Go home and play Warcraft.
Well, I mean, I was going to talk about this other thing a little bit later, but since I brought up about the lower, they're getting rid of the lower price places, people. Right now, where
to go?
I don't know. I missed. I guess I
Did you
must have
forget
got
to do it.
No, it was here. I don't know. It just went away.
I don't know.
It just went away. I guess. I don't know. All right. So one of the things they're saying is the lower income people are starting to have. Oh, here it is. Pain. The number of low income Americans behind on rent and struggling to afford food is growing.
Yeah.
So the Inflation Reduction Act is actually working because it's Income Reduction Act is actually working against the low income people because people are no longer middle class. They're all getting pushed down. So if you look in the United States, a supplemental nutrition assistance program, which we used to be food stamps,
right?
That's what they looked at. And 42% of the people skipped meals in August, 55% ate less, and more than double last year's share, according to the benefit software developer Propel.
Yeah.
Which is that the water?
Wasn't that a drink?
It's a water.
Yeah, it's a water.
So what I'm getting at is, and a lot, I didn't know the SNAP, was used to be the food stamp program.
Yeah.
Things I learned by just researching stuff. And so what's that saying? It's getting tougher out there.
Yeah, it is.
And the Income Reduction Act is working really well.
It is.
Yeah, because that's what the whole thing's going to do, and it's working. They said inflation. We have enough inflation. That's not going to reduce it. All right, pending home sales. I'm going to jump ahead. Pending home sales comes out by car. I almost said car. NAR, National Association,
National,
is looking for a president too. So if you know anybody who wants to be the president of NAR, reach out to them.
Oh my God.
Sexual harassment bad. Stop doing it, people. All right, pending home sales elevated 0.9% in July, marking the second consecutive month increase. Pending home sales, and like I just said that again for June, I have two of them. I guess I got to reiterate month over month. You were
so excited with that pending home sales.
Well, I found it first, and then I went and found the actual page. Contract signings increased in the South and West, but decreased in the North and Midwest. So back east, it's slowing down a little bit. Pending home sales fell in 4 of the U.S. regions compared to a year ago.
Yeah.
So if you look at a year ago, all this is saying is what? Not enough inventory.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's broken record, the same record that we've been breaking. We've been breaking records with low inventory.
Home prices are up. Near all-time homes.
Why do you think that is?
Because we have a bubble.
A low inventory.
Not a bubble?
Not a bubble.
Oh, okay. I thought we had a bubble. I'm sorry.
It's a bubble of opportunity.
Home prices. This again we talked about yesterday, but I thought I'd bring it back. CoreLogic showed that we saw a 0.7 month-over-month increase, and they're all looking at 2 of those we talked about yesterday are looking at 10% increase this year overall.
Right.
All right. The other thing that's up this week is mortgage applications.
Well, that's a good thing.
Mortgage applications for home purchases and refinance increased for the first time in 5 weeks.
But remain at low levels.
Yeah. So one more is an increase.
Yes, it is. Did it go from 2.2 to 2.3?
Point and a half. Yeah. For a week ending August 25th, mortgage applications picked up by 2.3%. So if we had 200, if we had 100, that meant they had 2.3 more.
Yes.
Right. So that's,
I don't know how you get, someone just didn't have time to complete their mortgage app, so they only got 0.3 of it done.
Well, they haven't finished it by the time the survey was coming out.
That's not done yet.
Yeah, don't count that one.
Pencils down.
That's right. All right. I know you have numbers, right, today?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, before you get there.
Okay.
One last, so I don't know if you know who Better Homes and Garden is?
Yeah, they had a magazine once.
They're being sued for advertising payments because they didn't make their payments over the last year to all these places.
What?
Yeah, Better sued for $1.8 million. My first question is, how the hell did they get away with that in the first place? $1.8 million.
That's a lot.
When you got up to 200,000, once you start calling and say, "Hey, we're not going to advertise, put your stuff back out here and all our stuff until you start paying us."
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a weird lawsuit.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't
pay
your bills.
Yeah.
And CFP reached a settlement this week with credit repair conglomerates.
We talked about this earlier in the year, didn't we?
Well, we just talked about don't do them.
Right.
That not all of them do what they say. But this is, so they reached a settlement, and the settlement will impose nearly $3 billion in judgments against Lexington Law, creditrepair.com, and a bunch of others. Those are Lexington laws you see on TV all the time.
All the time.
CFPB. So what the issue is the credit repair brands violated rules banning the collection of upfront fees.
Upfront fees.
Let's get that out. And that's like in the real estate business, right? When they were doing short sales and modifications, everybody got into trouble because they were taking upfront fees because they didn't have the form filled out properly.
Right.
You can do it as long as it's approved. The settlement will also ban them from telemarketing credit repair services for a period of 10 years.
So goodbye, you're out of business.
Well, they also need to pay, the amount of money that they all got hit. So,
right.
So these giants would use fake real estate and rent to own opportunities to elicit bait people and pad their pockets with billions of fees, according to the CFPB. Guess what happened right after the filing happened? Chapter bankruptcy, and we get rid of all these people so we can keep our money and get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
And then they went over at least a new space.
Laid off 900 employees.
And they went over probably at least a new space, had a new name change, and starting it all over
again. Yeah.
Because it's going to take, that took forever. They made billions and billions of dollars, probably trillions of dollars doing this.
Billions and billions.
All right. So that's the news I had today.
That's crazy. CFPB.
Yeah.
They got mean on someone.
Did they?
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Well, well, if it's good, but the problem is half the time they come after people for the dumbest things. And I'm glad they actually are doing something that's
helpful.
Yeah. Because I've never seen credit repair companies actually do a lot, right? They say they can, but there are some people out there can, Blue Water Credit Company. We've had them on a couple of times. They were decent, but they're not promising pay us up front and we'll do this. This is what we'll do over a 6-month period.
Right.
$99.
And you have to do it, but we're going to help you do it.
Right.
So here we do have numbers. I guess the ransomware attack is waning on the MLS companies. Our Metro list was never really down. I don't think too many people knew there was anything going on. It was more on the finance side, the accounting side of Rapatoni. Yeah. But anyway, so we've got 431 active listings currently in all of Stanislaus County. We have 378 pending sales in all of Stanislaus County, and year to date, 2287.
Still right around 286 a month.
Exactly.
Yeah. Total, so with all that, is what we used to do in the first 7. Not even what we used to do in the first 7 months. It's down by 1,000.
I know it is. It is. So, I mean, the story again, Morning Glory, is we don't have any inventory. We should put that to a song or a ballad. Maybe we can get a guy in here with a banjo and we can just write a song.
Actually, what we should do is those little Christmas card things that we see with all the elves and they're the singing. We can put in one of those and we can dance with our head on them. And there's no inventory.
Those jingles.
Yeah. There's no inventory. And they can make a jingle out of it. But apartments, their actually rents are decreasing by 0.1%. So today you can get off $10 this month.
Whew.
You can get it.
Well, that'll help with the food side of things. Won't it?
Yeah. Well, this is what I said. Nothing's going to change until there's enough pain in the country. Well, guess what? This administration has finally put enough pain in this country for people to actually do something about it.
We were talking about that last night. We were at a Modesto Nuts game, a bunch of people's, and we were talking about the pain in the country right now, and it may exact some change.
Well, we still got another almost year.
I know. So, but what's going to happen is going to get even more painful. I was really sad to hear that Biden and Jill and their cat almost caught fire.
Yeah, I don't think Hawaii likes that president anymore.
God, what an idiot!
Especially not Maui. Maui does not like that president.
No. Well, they don't like their mayor either.
Yeah.
So
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? So tomorrow I'll bring in. No, we already looked at the
Friday
statewide numbers.
Friday.
What is tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Oh crap!
Today is Wednesday.
Oh no!
Friday will be the day after tomorrow.
Now that's going to make this week long. I thought today was Thursday.
Well, that's what happens when you're out. Yeah,
Rotary. So
I would have thought you thought today was Tuesday because you didn't work on Monday.
Yeah, I worked.
Well, I mean,
different work. Yeah. I worked it. So, but I think that's all we got, really. I'm not a bearer of a lot of news because the story is the same in the real estate side of it. We don't have any inventory.
Right.
Buyers out there, we talked about this the other day, is have your agent call the listing agent and find out what the seller needs. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got a letter of intent yesterday. I think it's my second letter of intent from another agent in 33 years.
What's a letter of intent to do what?
Hey, if all these things can line up, we'll buy your property. Write a damn contract. That's a letter of that's real intent. So it's just weird.
Well, they do that on the commercial side though, more, right?
Letter of intent. It is. It's much more commercial situation than in a residential resale situation. Your letter of intent is your purchase contract.
Right.
If you agree to these terms, I'll buy it.
I think it's Orchard's looking for the director of real estate. So if you're in the commercial business and Orchard's looking for somebody, as long as you've been doing it for over 10 years.
Yeah.
It's on LinkedIn. It keeps coming to me.
Coming to you.
I have all my information in there. Yeah. It's like, hey, what about this job?
I got to remember to look at LinkedIn. There's so many damn things to look at.
Yeah. I was surprised how many companies are looking for people to help them with their real estate to purchase for their new expansion and that kind of stuff.
Right. Because now's the perfect time to buy those things.
Yes. And just like, real estate, now is the perfect time to buy. And I actually I've started getting much busier this week versus last week. I have a few people, I have more applications in this week than I did last week. Last week was kind of, I don't want to say bleak, but the last couple of weeks seemed like it was a little bit slower for me. This week it started to pick up again.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we in August? Could have been back to school and everything else the first couple of weeks. But I had somebody who said open house last Friday and Saturday at in college area. 22 people, 22 couples.
In what?
They had an open house in the college area.
Oh, okay. 20.
So the third Friday and Saturday, a total of 22 couples come through that were really interested. But the biggest thing they're all saying, I think we're going to wait.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. That's what they're all saying right
well,
now.
this is what I said. Well, okay. So right now, there's 22 of you who like this house and are interested in this house, but you want to wait. So instead of one person stepping up and buying this house, you're going to wait until 22 people write their offers on this house.
Right. And then pay more.
Exactly.
A lot more.
Right.
Or walk away.
Right. So don't do that.
No.
Just go write the offer now and then adjust the payment later.
That is the way that really works better for people right now.
Yeah, I wish
do
I
it
could
now.
I wish I could do Yoda because I do it right now.
Well, maybe we can work on that.
All right.
No.
Anything else?
Buy, not wait.
Yeah.
No, I think that's pretty much it.
All
I mean, present your home at the right price. It's going to get multiple offers. It's not going to be 22 right now, but it's going to be at least 3 to 5.
And should you make sure the house is clean when it's on the market?
Oh, maybe. Make sure the toilets are flushed and clean. And I blame the realtor on that side.
Right.
Guy puts the property on the market and doesn't do a damn thing. I wonder if he even went inside. So it's just too bad.
Yeah, it is.
There's always a couple bad poops in the.
So if you're an agent, so the question is, if you're an agent and you have your clients looking at a house that's vacant on a lockbox, do you use the bathroom? Do you let them?
You really have to go. It's you prefer not, especially if someone's going to drop a deuce. You're like, oh, can you really wait? I can take you to Jack in the Box.
Unless you really want them to buy the house.
Yes.
Then you have them do it in all the bathrooms. So the rest of the open house comes in. People don't want to buy it.
Yep. Oh, this house stinks. Yeah, we love it.
Instead of cookies in the oven, we'll move on.
Turds in the punch bowl.
Log cabin in the bathroom.
Yep, there we go.
All right, make it a great day.
Have a great time.
We appreciate you
all tomorrow.